Welcome to Black Tie Optional.
I'm Sydney.
I'm Colleen.
Let's get into it.
He's like, I know what to
working.
do. And I'm like, I know, but did you get this?
She'll tell me to shoot on a different lens, and I'm like, well, you keep standing in front of me, so I can't
Shoot on a wide lens. It's like, I've got to shoot on a tight lens or I can't see anything but your head. Like, it's not going to work.
Y'all sound like us. I'm just glad that we're not alone. Okay, so today we have Daniel and Emily from Dring Creative. We are so excited to have y'all on.
We're happy to be here.
So tell us a little bit about you and like how your business kind of started.
Okay, so we have been together for 8 years, married about 1.5 years. But I'll let Daniel get into about our business because we really wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. So,
So around 2017, I was an insurance agent, and I was still in college at the time and still waiting tables at Red Lobster, which is where we met. So that was kind of like the ultimate origination of how we got started. And then from there, as an insurance agent and studying marketing, I started spending a lot of time on YouTube.
Okay.
And figuring out that people made money as YouTubers. That wasn't a thing to me 8 years ago.
Yes.
It had been going on forever, but I had no idea that people made a full-time living on YouTube.
It's honestly crazy to think about.
Putting videos out there and as social media people. So I started kind of just watching videos about not only like marketing, but just about just like things I enjoyed, like the outdoors, hunting, fishing, camping, things of that nature. Yeah. And so I started reading about that. So I was like, well, I'm going to get a camera. I'm going to start putting YouTube videos out, not only for the benefit of marketing my insurance business at the time, but just to try and actually be a YouTuber, you know?
Yeah.
And then from there, it kind of evolved. I continued to acquire gear and, I just continued to acquire gear, and the people knew I had it. I had a drone, a lot of cameras, and we started doing kind of one-off things for friends, family, shot a couple weddings for free, just like kind of as we had some friends who were getting married, and I was like, I have all this equipment, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot a video. And then it just kind of slowly evolved from there. So that was kind of the ultimate origination. We could go as deep or into it as y'all wanted to, but that was ultimately how it got started, doing it as a hobby for fun to document personal experiences, hunting, fishing, camping, essentially kayaking.
Gotcha.
And then that's how it started.
I joke that's how we got started too. It's like YouTube Academy.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
yeah. We're YouTube students for sure.
So then at what point did Emily, did you join that, I guess?
Yeah, so he needed help, or he wanted my help with filming his hunts and our fishing trips and vacations and stuff like that. So he taught me how to use a camera. And we both started with video because, video settings and photo settings are completely different. So he taught me how to use a camera, and I would just help him shoot and stuff like that. And then, so it was basically just for fun. And when we finished college, we decided we were going to travel for a year before we figured out what we wanted to do, because I had no idea what I wanted to do after college. So we bought an Airstream, we moved to Colorado, and we were going to travel for the year. But of course, COVID happened, and everything shut down out there. So we moved back to Arkansas after just 3 months. And when we got back, we were like, well, what are we going to do? We need a job. We're homeless, jobless. Yeah. We have no idea what the world is what's going to happen in the world. So we just honestly started posting on Facebook, and we were like, hey, if you need some pictures, we have this camera gear, we can do it. And it truly just took off from there. I don't even know how it just happened so quickly, and it's crazy. Though. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know.
Prior to that, we had done a couple of weddings, and we had done some work before, just
here and there, but
taking off.
Right.
But I never knew what it could be.
This could be my full-time
yes,
job.
I was just trying to make it there at the beginning.
Yes.
Put some gas in my car.
Pay my bills real quick. Yeah, no, I totally understand. So how long, I know you had mentioned that you had shot weddings for free, but how long was it before you had shot your first paid wedding?
From the time we bought a camera, I had some point and shoots and stuff, and old cameras that I had found when I started making YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Just stuff my parents had, and I made some videos with my phone and stuff. But from the time we bought a legitimate camera would have been 2018, about a year. We got paid. It was a year later. We did one wedding for a friend. I had a college class.
We shot a friend's wedding in April 2019 for free, and then I think August.
It was September 2019.
Okay. Oh yeah.
That was our first paid wedding, and I
that's
think I
right.
had bought we had bought like an actual SLR camera in like 2018. So
I
about a
gotcha.
year and a half until like
Yeah.
That's amazing, y'all. That's so awesome.
But like a not friend, family, like acquaintance, it was probably a year after that we got paid.
and the backstory on like the first one we did too, it kind of doesn't count in a way because like I had a class, it was like my final class in college for marketing. It was like an entrepreneurship class. You had to like start a business. So I just made one Facebook post and it was like I would do a wedding, but I had like put literally in the post I would only do it if you weren't gonna hire somebody. Like if you were considering hiring a professional, hire a professional.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have like a dual slot camera and I didn't even know if it would turn out good. So I was like, if you're not gonna have somebody but you'd like to have a video, I will do it cheap. You know. So that was so like that one almost doesn't count. I would say more so like 2020. So really 2 years before we like legitimately advertised and like took on like a client, like an
Gotcha.
actual you know full on client.
Oh, I mean, I joke like our first paid, I was still shooting in auto. Like I
Right.
was too scared to shoot in like manual. Like you live and you learn.
Seriously. So you started with video, right?
Right.
And so then photo just kind of like evolved from that, I assume.
Well, I've always been into like social media, like posting. Like I considered being like a social media manager basically. So I was
Yeah.
always into photo, and we did like a lot of personal stuff, obviously. But I was really into like creating content for Instagram before Reels and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I was really into photography and just getting into photo. So it kind of came naturally to me to transition from video to photo, and then once. Like in 2020, when we became like Dring Creative and we're really going after it, like I was pushing for photo,
Okay.
and yeah.
That's kind of nice though that, you know, obviously you guys are married and together, but that you have both. You know what I mean? You can do
Right.
both. Like that's nice to offer
Yeah.
both.
And that's what a lot of
Certainly.
couples, it seems like it's easier for them just to be like a one-stop shop. Like,
Right. You're not like coordinating with this person and this person.
right.
I know. I actually get a lot of couples that'll be like, are you okay with working with other photographers? And I'm like, is this normal for people like not to be okay working
Right,
together?
yeah.
Like it's always a weird question like that. I'm like, yeah.
Right.
Like we haven't had any issues, knock on wood.
Yeah.
Right, right. But I know for us, like the only reason that we ever added Wes to the mix was simply for the fact that people would go somewhere else because they wanted a company that did both.
Yeah.
So I feel like it really does give you an advantage in the industry kind of thing. Okay, so we're going to talk about what is your favorite part about weddings as a whole?
Honestly, like, it sounds cheesy, but just seeing people be so happy. Because, like, I think it really kicked in after we got married, which we just eloped, just the two of us. But, like, just seeing how happy everybody, like, they are, and, like, it's just so special. And, like, their grandma's crying, and the dads, and I don't know. I cry every mom and son dance. I don't know why that one gets me, but I don't know.
No, same.
I just like that everyone's so happy.
Yes, I feel like I tell people all the time, like most common jobs, like there's job drama, right?
right.
Like, I feel like we hardly ever have to deal with job drama unless it's like, you know, family conflict or whatever, and you're just going to navigate and figure it out. But like amongst yourselves, like you go to work and you're just like happy
Right.
all the time.
Well,
and-
it is like technically the best day of someone's life.
Yes.
So like we're getting in the high moments. We're not like
And
the
I'm so
low
unaware of
moments.
the drama. Dane will be like, "Did you not catch on to that?" And I'm like, "No." I thought everybody was happy in there. Like, I'm telling people to hug. I have no idea. I'm so sorry. I need a warning. Like,
Oh, that's hysterical.
That's good.
I'm not even lying though. That's like initial phone call. I'm like, I need to know all
Oh,
your family
yeah. I've
conflict.
learned to ask.
Tell me everything.
yeah,
Yeah, not because
Because-
I'm nosy, because I don't want to be like
yeah.
Oh, I've put people in a photo together that apparently
Yes.
they did not like each other,
Yeah.
and they're like looking at each other and then looking at me, and I'm like, I feel like I
I'm
should-
missing something here.
Yes, yes, exactly. So, if you could not photograph one thing at a wedding, I guess essentially, what is your least favorite thing to photograph?
I would have to say formal family photos.
Oh yeah,
I don't mind getting a photo of like you and your grandma, or like, I don't mind doing it. It's the corralling of everyone, trying to get like Uncle Kenny out of the bar and the kids put their shoes back on. Like, I just,
yes.
And the people always ask you what you want. It's like,
Yes.
I literally do not care.
Yeah.
It's not like in a negative way. It's purely up to you. Like if you want to,
If you want this
you and your grandma,
combination,
great.
just-
But
yeah.
I don't care if we get Uncle Bobby and,
yeah.
right.
You know, Grandma Diane to get. It makes no difference to me. Like, it's whatever you want to remember.
so
Right.
don't ask me. It's purely on you, you know, and you tell them beforehand, like make a list or have some, they never do it.
No.
And that's kind of it's really important in some senses because a lot of people, that's the only time
Family
they get to
photo
get
they'll
those
get.
people together that are all
Yes.
dressed and they just don't care, but then they want it. They're mad they don't have, not mad they don't
Not
have it,
that,
but
yeah.
They
They're like,
wish
oh, we
they,
missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know. And it is like, it's frustrating in the moment getting it for sure. Like you say, corralling everyone. But then I'm like, I do remember, like, what if someone passes away after? Like,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
so thankful for that. It's just like one of those you have to go through it. And you're like,
Yes. Like, I don't mind doing it. It's just the process of it all. And it's always
it's
like the
stressful.
hottest part of the day.
Yes.
And everyone wants to go party. But
Yes.
and I'm always stressed as like video because I don't really get all of that.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, we need couples. Like, I'm ready to get to
Right.
the couples portion.
Yes, and then it's like, okay, if we have a backdrop, then having to try to get everybody centered,
Right.
and half the people are not listening, and then at that point, I just give up. I'm like, y'all are just
Yeah.
gonna be off centered. I just gave up.
yeah.
I gave up.
Well, it's like, scoot over here with your dress. Okay, let me reflect
Yeah.
your dress.
Yes. So, in terms of being in the industry, y'all have been in the industry for what, 4 or 5 years now?
Yeah, about 4 years.
So, what have you noticed is like the hardest part about the industry? I know there's so many different ways you can take it too.
as far as what, like, just kind of more relegated
So
to
like
weddings.
for me, I feel like it's kind of dog eat dog, and that's been really hard for me to navigate because I'm not like that as a person. Like I'm a very like I love you,
Yeah.
I love everybody. You know what I mean? So for me personally, like that's kind of been the hardest part about being in the wedding industry.
Okay.
So
Emily might not even know about all the drama. She's,
I know.
She's just like,
No,
oh, wait.
yeah.
no.
Thought we were all just kumbaya out here. I don't know. I take this as like personally, like I just
Yeah.
have a trouble with like not comparison, but like imposter syndrome sometimes.
yes,
But like I know I'm good. I'm
Right.
successful. Like
Right.
like the proof's there, but I don't know. I'm hard on myself. I think that's because there's actually a lot of really like good photographers like in Arkansas,
gosh,
like
yeah.
yes.
and videographers, but I don't know. I get really hard on myself. But that's the hardest for me. I don't know. That's how I took it. But what
Yeah,
about you?
I mean, I'm like just it's hard for me to like answer that question. I'm like super grateful. Circling back to what's the best part about a wedding day? Like I sold insurance, and I like absolutely hated everything about that. It was like terrible. Like you talk about the wedding day being the best day of their life. That's like so great to me. It's so much fun because they're so happy, as opposed to like an insurance. Like you have to pay for it and you don't get anything for it. And if you do get anything from it, it means something bad happened. You either had a car accident, somebody
Right.
died. For life insurance, there is never a positive. You pay for it until something goes wrong. And then you get, maybe you get what you want out of it. So
Well,
like,
say even
everyone
Yeah.
hated everything about it. It was every phone call was negative. You're just like, I was like, this is terrible. I would never, there's not enough money in the world. I would rather sleep underneath a tree outside than do that. So like a wedding day is like amazing. So it's like would be hard for me to say like anything's bad.
I love
or
that,
like the
though.
negative part of the industry, but
Yeah.
there's some things that could definitely be changed. But I don't know.
So that's the fun part is obviously going to the wedding day. Who does, like, how do y'all delegate who does what in your business? Like editing, talking to clients, or is that like both of y'all do
We're
that?
still
or-
working through that.
Yeah.
Haven't quite dialed that one in yet.
I do pretty much all the editing, but that's just because I'm a control freak. But it used to be like I would do photo, he would do video, and then I kind of kicked him out. Not for any important reason, it's just because I'm a control freak. But he's more of like the financial backwork gear
Right.
guy, and I do the editing, talking to clients, posting on socials.
During the week, I do real
Stuff
estate,
like that.
so like I'm out of the. We wouldn't really, if we didn't have both of us time wise, it wouldn't be able to work out because
Right.
she edits and yeah, so that's how we somewhat do that. And we did like early on, sometimes would have like some issues with like we have to decide like one person has to be in charge, not in charge, but like one person has to be doing the communicating and talking and leading
Right.
because it got to, especially with us working together. Like let's say I were to like when we worked with you. Like we're separate entities, so it's easier for you to say this. Like you go through XYZ prompts and then you can stop and then we can go through XYZ prompts. But us, like in the client's eyes, they bundle us together and we kind of bundle ourselves together because we,
right.
we're together.
Yeah.
So we would have trouble sometimes. Like we would think, well, I thought you were going to say that, or she thought I would say it, and it doesn't get said. So
Yeah.
we had to determine
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. One person has to
Like you're in
be
charge.
the
Yeah,
one.
you're the head, and then
yeah,
Yeah.
we have to make it,
I
let
agree.
somebody be the head person.
yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of hard, like being the one person. Because, like, for me, I find myself like so focused on like photo.
Right.
But then at the same time, I'm like obsessing about video. And then in my, I don't know if you do this, but in my
Yes.
mind, I'm like, he better have gotten that
Oh
shot.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm going to kill him if he didn't.
Oh
You
yeah.
know what I
You wouldn't
mean?
know it, but we argue probably 70% of the wedding
Yeah,
day.
precisely.
Like she's thinking that.
Yes. No, I'm so.
I can't wait to tell Wes because
Yeah.
he's like, Cindy, you got to like
He's
take it
sick
down
of me.
a notch.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop.
same.
Like
We can't.
He's
We're
like, I
not
know what to
working.
do, and I'm like, I know, but did you get this?
She'll tell me to shoot on a different lens, and I'm like, well, you keep standing in front of me, so I can't
shoot on a wide lens. It's
Yeah.
like I've got to shoot on a tight lens or I can't see anything but your head. Like it's not gonna work.
Y'all sound like us. I'm just glad that we're
Yeah.
not alone. I'll have to show us this episode.
I'm like, well, you just do
I'm
it.
dead.
I can't. Like,
Yeah.
either I gotta do this or I can't see what you're wanting to see.
He's like, you can
and
just do
I'm-
it all by yourself. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, I might.
It's so funny
Constant.
because I feel like I would definitely, out of Zach and I would probably be the head.
You would be.
Because
Yeah.
I'm a control
You
freak.
would be.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But I had my third baby, and so I took 10 months off. I just went back to my first like in-person wedding, but I'm still doing like editing and talking to everyone, yada
Yeah.
yada. So he kind of became the head
Right.
doing it. And so when I'm at this wedding and I'm like, oh, I'll get this flat lay shot, you go blah blah
Yeah.
blah, and he's like, do you have it? And I'm like, do I have it? Are you serious? And I'm like,
Do you
not
know
used
who
to,
I am?
I'm like not used to like roles reversed. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I mean, might be out of it.
That's funny.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But okay, so we'll like take a slight step back from talking about weddings.
Okay.
So we know obviously you do real estate and you do a lot of seniors, and I would love to know more about that. So I guess we'll start like Senior Avenue. So how did that start? Just kind of happened or what?
Yeah, I mean, we live in a small town, and I feel like once someone knows you have a camera and you use it, you become the camera person for the town, which is great. Like, I'm thankful for it. But we also live where I grew up, so I know a lot of the teachers and kind of the moms or,
Yeah.
just the families in town. And, yeah, pretty much they just saw me on Facebook. Facebook has been my best friend in this business, so they just really just saw that I was doing photos, and I did a couple seniors, and then they told their friends, and then now I'm like the Heber senior photographer.
You enjoyed that, like you're
I
kind
do,
of
yeah.
cutting out that part. Like, she like, there's certain things that like we've done like for the same reasons that she just said, just because people know you have a camera and they ask you to do it, and then
Well, that's how it got
she
started.
liked that, like she liked seniors, so
do,
started
yeah.
didn't
Right.
post about other things, and
Yeah.
started focusing more on seniors because
Yeah, because I kind of
she
did
enjoyed
everything
that.
in the beginning, and I kind of weeded out
Right.
which I'll do. I won't say I'll do anything, but I do families and stuff like that sometimes. I don't really advertise because there are other
Same.
people that are better for them.
Yeah.
They're like storytelling, really good family photographers, but I love my seniors. They're so fun.
Well, and like you said, we grew up in the same town. And I remember in high school, I feel like the senior photographer
Yeah.
was what Shuttered Image. That was like who you went
Yeah.
to, which I don't even think he's in business
I don't
anymore.
know.
But that's right. I feel like whenever like our town gravitates to like,
Right.
well, and it's like my friend used this person, which is nice about
Oh,
living in
yeah.
a small town. Kind
For
of
sure.
helps. Word of mouth.
For sure. So how is it dealing with the younger generation?
Honestly, it makes me feel old, but they're great kids. I don't really see that big of a difference. Obviously, they have I've heard some different slang and stuff, and I'm like, okay. But
Gonna what is it? Urban Dictionary that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're also like really easy to photograph because they're used to it and they want their picture taken and they've seen something they want to do and they're just really comfortable and
And
fun.
they're willing, probably.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's
Because
not
you
like
go from
pulling
engagements where most men don't want to be there,
Yeah.
which I understand, but you go to the senior shoot and they're just ready to twirl and
Please,
do cartwheels.
take
And
my
yeah,
picture.
yeah,
They're
it's
16,
a lot of
18 years
fun.
old, so they look great. They're not
Yeah.
balding like me. I'm like,
I'm people on camera. I'm like, do I wear my hat? Do I not wear my hat? You know?
Yeah. So it's just a lot of fun. It's like easygoing, stress free with my seniors. So
Do you feel like you deal with parents more or seniors more? Like, do you have seniors like themselves reaching out to you?
majority of the time, yes,
Okay.
the seniors reach out to me. I have a few moms every now and then, but for the most part. They're reaching out, they're booking, they're emailing. I'm like, I don't think I had an email. I didn't check my email when I was in high school.
No. And so when they show up to have their picture taken, like, is mom there, or is it a lot of time just the senior?
I would say like 70% of the time moms come just so
Okay.
they're behind me taking pictures, you know. But some of the girls show up, just them. I think it's mainly because back to the small town, like
Right.
they've seen me around town and know who I am.
It's not like
and-
you're a stranger.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
Exactly.
Which I do seniors like in other towns as well.
Okay.
And their moms obviously come because we're meeting at
For
a
the
state
first
park.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you live in like a good location. Like Heber's such a pretty location that I
Right.
feel like even
Oh, yeah.
outside seniors would be like, oh, let me go to Heber to get my pictures
Absolutely.
Yes. So do you feel like you get more creative with seniors versus like weddings?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just more open and it's easier to get one person to do something like off
Right.
the wall kind of, you know, and
Like
get
you
creative
said,
with it.
taken. You're not like, not that it's always men. Sometimes it can be
Right.
girls too. But like if she's for it and he's not for it, it's kind of
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard getting them to interact, you know,
Yeah.
and not feel awkward or whatever. So I get that. Okay, so jumping over to real estate. So how did that start?
Just it was something I'd kind of done for free. At first, I was just like trying to, honestly, just like see if I could do anything to like make money with a camera.
Right.
Before we even like the business ever started, I had shot a couple of like a couple houses for free for people and done some like really cheap work to just to get experience and see if I liked that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that was ultimately how I got started, and then I did, you know, because going back to the small town thing, and we've learned a lot now, and things have changed our perspective on everything. But at the time, we were just trying to do anything to make some money with a camera. So we were trying to
everyone, yeah.
diversify, you know, what we could offer. So that was,
Yes.
and around here, like Emily had known. I'm sure y'all know the Hills, like the Hill Family Arkansas Vacation Rental. I'm sure it'd be fun to
Yeah.
mention their name on a
Yeah.
podcast when we advertised for them. So like they had seen that we were just making videos, and they had asked us to do one, and we did that one. And you know, we still work for them. Like they manage vacation rentals around the lake and the river. So that was just kind of how I got started, and just kind of evolved from there. Just on its own. Like I didn't really necessarily put in any
Effort, really?
yeah, to try and advertise a certain product we're doing, but just what people ask for, I would do, you know, and that's pretty much it. I don't think there's any, as far as I know, at this time, there's not any other real estate photographers based out of Heber, you know, so there was one for a while, a friend of mine, that did some stuff, but I don't think he's doing it anymore, so. Yeah.
So do you feel like you could make this like a full-time thing? Like that could be your sole business, like if you wanted it to be?
If I really tried hard, I would definitely have to, well, you know, which I already work, you know, like Conway or Searcy or surrounding areas, but I would for sure have to, if I only did that and didn't use weddings or any other, if I only did real estate photo video, I would definitely have to go to Searcy and Conway, which would be fine. I think it would be, you might could do it around here. Which that goes back to every, I guess, individual's personal deal, how much money you need, you know, or how much you want, desire, how much you want to work versus how much, you know, but I would definitely I would probably do Searcy, Conway, and Lake area, and
Gotcha.
probably necessitate that, but probably it could
I
be
think
done.
he could. He stays pretty busy.
Yeah.
And I guess the good thing about like this area is we have, like you said, a big vacation rental market, but then also like people just buying and selling. So it's
All
like you
the
have
time.
both.
Oh yeah, the vacation
Exactly.
homes have like they just turn over.
All the time.
There's a couple houses around here he's shot 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Or like been asked to.
For different people and different
Yeah.
purposes, you know,
Yeah.
people that had bought it had it as an Airbnb, and then they sold it. So then the realtor, like, there was no connection between anybody. I don't know, it just worked out that way. Yeah. So there's
Yeah.
a lot more houses than people in Heber. That's what a lot of people like. They think we're from a tiny town. Like I shoot a lot of real estate, and they confuse, like, kind of head scratching. But I think there's probably literally more houses. I bet if you did like Van Buren and Cleveland County, there's probably 3 times as many houses as whatever the 6,900 population we have here in Heber and whatever Clinton is, or that area, general area, you know.
Yeah, like Fairfield Bay. I mean, every road you turn down, something's for sale.
Right.
And it's so wild to me because, like you said, you're in a town of 6,900 people, and then everywhere you turn, there's like more houses than people. And I did not realize till we moved to the area how many people from like Memphis.
Oh yeah.
Like, I didn't realize. I swear all of Fairfield Bay is nothing but people from California, Texas, and Memphis.
Yeah.
It's so wild.
That's how Tannenbaum is too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So do you enjoy not having to deal with people? Like versus a wedding, you have 200 people that you're having to deal with, you know?
Yeah, I certainly enjoy real estate. I like the 9 to 5 kind of aspect of it too, just like a normal job in a way, not just like constant weekend work. Yeah, because if we didn't do that, it would be, I don't know, it would not be tough, but it kind of keeps us like, as from a business perspective, it kind of keeps like a steady trickle of income like throughout the week, you know,
Right.
and doesn't because otherwise I would feel probably more pressure to advertise and try and make sure we were booked with weddings more often. But being able to have like kind of a different source of, you know, a way to generate revenue, I guess you would say.
Oh,
like
I get
it helps like if we have a month where we don't have a wedding, it's not as big of a deal. You know, it's otherwise I would be like, all right, we gotta book some more for next week. Can't let this happen again, you know.
The pressure's on.
Yeah, so I definitely enjoy it. And around here, we get a lot of vacant stuff. I do enjoy that. Like, whenever it's just, you know, somebody just calls and says the key's there, gives you a lockbox code or whatever the case may be, where I get to do them on my own time and show up, shoot a house, go to a different one, shoot it, and leave and
And it's
deliver
quick
it.
turnover. Like, you shoot the house, you edit it, you deliver it, and it's done. Like, you're not, like, sitting on the house.
You're
Photos,
not dealing with a wedding
yeah.
client for a year and a half.
However long the time may be, it's just like, yeah, they text today, you shoot it tomorrow, deliver it the next day. Done, you know, until the next one.
Hey guys, just wanted to take a brief pause in the episode to tell you thank you for supporting our podcast. It would mean the world to us if you could subscribe to whatever platform you are listening on. Let's get back to the episode.
When you were living in Colorado, did y'all do photo video then? Like just of your personal like vlogging style kind of thing?
Yeah, that was right prior to, that was when beforehand we had gotten, I had got cameras before that, and then when I finished school, we went, and then, yeah, we did, like, actually, we were both working front desk of a hotel, and, like, somebody had asked, like, do you know a photographer? And we went and, like, took pictures of a kid.
Yeah, she asked me, I was
snowboarding.
like,
so we did one
actually.
paid gig there. You know, that was kind of one of the early on. But, yeah, we had cameras. We have videos, YouTube videos, vlogs, I mean, footage from that. So it was, we did, yes.
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, how do you, since you do a lot of personal projects, like, you know, for yourself of adventure stuff, how do you find the balance of, like, do you still have a lot of footage of, like, personal stuff you haven't edited?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, we quit
Yeah.
doing it. No, it's like, we were talking about that on the way here, just as in relation to this podcast, because we'd seen that deal, and it was like, yeah, we're still trying to work through that, getting back to doing it, because, like, we have a backlog. Like, I feel like we'll feel guilty if we're working on something, like, for ourselves. We have, like, we're, like, right on the deadline, trying to deliver something else, and that's where we started. Like, I wanted to make, like, camping content, like, stuff about hunting, like, you know, I wanted to film, which we could break off onto that after this if we wanted to. That's a whole different deal. But I kind of determined I didn't want to, like, make money that way. It's a lot more challenging than providing, like, an actual service like wedding or real estate. But yeah, we don't ever anymore. We were talking about getting a different brand camera that we couldn't, like, use for work, to where it would just be like the dedicated personal, like, where we're not sharing cards,
Right.
where we don't have to, like, dump and format, and, like, because I'm really serious about the system of, like, dumping, formatting, backing up. It's very important to me to, like, not have everything dated and, like, nice and neat. And we thought about getting like a different camera that could just, like, sit on the counter, you know, and we could just use it when we wanted to.
That's literally how we had to do it because Zach is kind of getting back into doing videos for renovation, and he has, like, our old camera.
Yeah.
That, you know, it's not worth any to sell it kind of thing, with, like, different everything. So it's, like, even different battery. He's like, it has to be separate, or, like, we won't
Exactly.
do it.
Right.
But, like, we got married November 22, and I just started editing our wedding footage because we did our own video,
Yeah.
like 2 weeks ago. I finally
I saw
started.
you post a clip, and
Yes.
honestly, like, this is so unrelated. I don't even know if I'll put this in there. But whenever I saw your photos posted, I was like, oh my gosh, I would have videoed that for y'all for, like, just as, like, a gift. And I was
Yeah.
like, because I saw you never posted, like, a video, and I was like,
Yeah.
I hate that you guys didn't video that.
No, we did,
Okay.
but I just haven't even had time or, like, mental capacity to.
Right.
I've
Yes.
been working on it for like 8 months.
Right.
But
Yeah.
she finally went in there.
Yeah.
And, like, I was like,
Well,
we
he, like,
gotta get
clipped
that
it up
done.
and everything, but I was like, I need to make something.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. Because I loved y'all's day. If we wanted to, like, veer off into just what it was like getting eloped, you know, being, because you kind of knew what everything was happening since
Yeah.
you're a photographer. How was that? Like, what made you guys decide to elope?
A lot of reasons, honestly.
We're getting old.
Yeah, it was time. Like, we'd been together for 7 years, 6, 7 years at that point, and we wanted to get married. We want to have kids soon. And honestly, our dogs were old, and we wanted them in the pictures.
Yeah.
And we wanted to get married, but COVID just like, that's a like, yeah, a whole long conversation. But like, COVID kind of messed up. Like, it kind of eliminated a couple of years. Like,
Yeah.
we were 24 when COVID started, and now we're 30.
It's like,
I'm not
where
sure
did
how
that
that happened.
go?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
did COVID take away our years too?
Right.
I
Yeah.
seriously feel like it though. Like I think back to that time, and it was one of the, I'm sure we can all agree, the
Yeah.
weirdest things that I've ever experienced. And I think back and I'm like, okay, so our lives froze, like stood still. Mm-hmm. And then it was like all of a sudden you're like 8 months later, and what did I do
Right.
during that time?
Yeah.
I have no idea. No idea. It's
And
just a
couldn't-
weird thing.
Like, you couldn't make it, like, I felt at the time, because we were in a transitional period anyways. We had just finished, like, I finished college in December of 19, so like it took
Yeah.
me like 6 years to finish school. I was in and out and
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff. But so like I finished in 2019. That's when we moved to Colorado. And then when COVID obviously shut everything down, you couldn't make a move either. Like we didn't
Yeah.
know what was gonna happen.
Right.
Like it was like transitional. I was nervous. I mean, obviously everybody was. You literally
Yeah.
were supposed to stay in the house, things of that
Yeah.
nature. So you couldn't. Not only did the time just go by, but you couldn't really, do it. Or that's the way I felt, anyways.
No, I
You
felt the same
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Same. I don't think we did anything. I think we literally stayed home. We didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So when you guys eloped, you said it was just you two? Like, did any family or anything?
So it was just the two of us the day of, and our photographer, Laura, with Boston Mountain Photo. She's great. Definitely fit our vibe at the Buffalo River and everything. But the next day we had family come out, and we like cooked out. We had like a big canvas wall tent in a field, and we grilled food and
That's great.
had
I
them
love
hang
it.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love elopements.
Seriously, like I would love to photograph stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like kind of hoped because we moved so close to the Buffalo that I
Right.
would like, get into that a little bit. I'm still like putting it out there.
Yeah.
But it's just eloping. And I think, from a photography standpoint, it's so nice because you're not so scheduled.
Right.
You can truly enjoy, take as long as you want, do whatever you want to do. There are no rules. And I mean, we eloped too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole other story and reason. But I look back and I'm grateful, that I didn't have the pressure to do this and this and this and this at this time. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like our wedding was like an elopement essentially. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was so small, and it was like I was 30 minutes late to time I was gonna get married. Like, who cares?
Zach's probably sweating.
No.
But that's so cool. So how long y'all camped after, right? How long were you out there camping?
2 more days. So I think we're out there 3 nights total.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
We got there a night before. Yeah, 3 nights total was it?
November is one of my favorite months to camp too. So I thought that was awesome.
And I love like the dead trees. I know fall's like
No,
a big
I
like the
love
colors,
it.
but I love how it photographs when there's no leaves on the trees, and
Well,
it
especially
looks
during
cold.
golden hour.
Yeah.
I'd say sometimes green bugs me.
Yes.
So yeah.
It's really green right now. It's
Oh my
neon
gosh.
out there.
No, it is neon. That's a perfect way to describe it. Like when
Yeah.
the leaves first start coming on the trees, I will start to tell people, you want to wait like another month. And then
Yeah.
we can start taking pictures. You know what I
Let's
mean?
settle in here.
Yes, I swear. Age it just a little bit. Okay, so coming from a small town, being in a small town as photographers, videographers, like, do you feel like it's easier to get business, or do you feel like it's harder versus living, say, in like Conway or Little Rock where you have 100,000
like-
people?
I feel like it's all I know, and I think it's easier because
You
which
connect.
right, yeah. You get your name out there almost faster, and you have the opportunity to get out. Like I don't like shoot in Conway and Little Rock and
Yes.
stuff as well, but I don't know. I feel like it's easier. What do you think?
I think it's considerably not easier per se, because I mean, if you weren't from here, I grew up in North Little Rock, so like I'm not from here, and I think, like looking back now, I feel like we could probably go anywhere. But when we got started, I think it was a lot easier having like Emily, just because she knew a lot of people, and like we said, we're the only real estate, or one of the only real estate, and there's only so many photographers, period, so many people that do anything.
Right.
So it's like once you, like y'all said, once you get connected,
Right.
your name travels fast.
Right.
Like, in Little Rock, yeah, there's more people, but there's also more
Photographers.
competition. Not that it's competition, but everybody knows 3 people that do
Right.
fuzz, to where here,
Yeah,
you
you've got
know,
those
there's
small
only a
town
couple.
Facebook groups, and like you can be the one that's in the comments. You know, like I just feel like
Exactly.
that's beneficial. And
I feel like it's nice, but then on the flip side, it's almost, I mean, in my mind, like, not performance-wise, but it's almost like nerve-wracking. Like,
Well, it could
it's
work
like,
negative for you
Yeah.
as quick as it could work positively for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the word
Yeah.
travels just as fast both ways.
Yes.
like, I feel like people are, I don't know, in small towns can be judgier, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
Or
I feel
comparing like, oh, look at so and so's photos and then so and so's photos
Yeah.
or whatever. You know?
right,
So I guess it could go both ways. But
Yeah.
which I'm the type of person, which is kind of contradictory, but like I would rather photograph someone I don't know. Which I don't want to like put like I will take your photo, but
absolutely.
I'm in like service industry mode. Like I'm, putting on my professional pants and
And I'm a chatty Cathy, so if I
Yeah.
know you, like I'm gonna be like, "How
Yeah.
are you? How's your mom?" You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it is. I feel like easier to. I don't want to say disconnect, but almost disconnect. Like turn that part of my brain off.
Yeah.
And
Just
just
doing a
focus
job.
on
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
you're not being a friend, you're just doing a job.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still being a
Right.
friend, but
yeah,
yeah.
That can be positive for the client too, because they might not want to like have to entertain their friend all day on their wedding day or something
Yeah.
along those lines. You know, they just want to sit there
Live.
and have
Somebody
pictures
do their
taken of
job.
them. Yeah,
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, if you had any advice for people that were like wanting to get into this business, like what would that be?
I would say if you want to like become a photographer and do well, I would say just shoot and post.
Yep.
Take pictures all the time, post them all the time, just get out there. And then from a business standpoint, I would say answer the phone or answer the email, answer the message, because starting out, like the majority of our business was like, thank you for answering. Thank you for getting back to me, because
Same.
I've contacted people and I haven't heard from them. So I would say answer the phone. Like it's the easiest thing. Like they're
Yes.
ready to book. If they're calling you, they want to book you, you know?
Right.
So answer the phone.
I love it.
I feel like that's so common. I
Yeah.
feel like in our industry, like, oh, thanks for emailing back. I'm like, or,
Yeah.
or people don't email
Right.
you back.
Right.
Yeah.
absolutely.
crazy.
I do. I feel like people just get a little over their heads probably, and they
I
just
mean,
get
I get it.
so
They get
much.
a lot of inquiries
Yeah.
and stuff, but still.
But still,
I mean, I
Yeah.
still email people back like, oh, I'm so sorry, we're booked. Check out, blah,
Right.
blah, blah,
Yes.
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I would just pretty much say the same thing. I feel like there's a lot of, if you watch like a lot of YouTube or listen to a lot of podcasts, I feel like there's like kind of a lot of bad information out there, like people trying to sell courses and stuff that are just like charge
Yes.
more this, and I don't
Yeah.
really necessarily think that's the case. I think
I
you got to
agree.
figure out what's important to you, figure out what's important to you, how you want your work-life balance to be or lack thereof, and figure out how much money you want to make, reverse engineer that, and figure out what
Yes.
you have to accomplish and what you're willing to do and what's something that's going to work for you. Because like we've had some projects where like, oh, well, this is not sustainable, like I don't want to do this, you know, like we
Yeah.
took on something, it's like, no, like this we'll go out of business because everybody will hate us if we keep having to do this, you know. So like just figuring out what you like, shooting it, posting, I think that's important. Just getting really good, trying to do right by people, and just do like simple principles that don't really sound that exciting, but you just kind of have to do, you know. That's
Right.
what
I
I
feel
would
like that's
say.
just part
Yeah.
of it. You know, you just got to put the work in. Okay, so we got a couple of questions submitted to ask you guys. I love your editing style. How did you settle on how you wanted your images to look?
I don't know.
Did it just happen?
I love that. Yeah, I created my own presets like from scratch. I don't know. I like a time like not like the light and airy timeless, but I want it to look like the moment looked for the most part. Like obviously like maybe a little warmer or a little less green or stuff like that. But I just like I don't know, like an authentic looking color
Yeah.
vibe.
A crisp, good photo,
Yeah.
not over edited, not like going with
Like
what
I don't
the
want
current
you
trend
to
is.
look back in 10 years and be like, wow, that dark, warm, I don't know,
Super
vibe.
moody or
Or
something.
yeah. I don't want you to be
Yeah.
able to look at that and be like, oh, that was in 2015.
1990.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I love that. And then this other one said, I wish my husband would work with me. Have you both always done photography? How did you decide to go into business together? Which we kind of touched on. But if you have anything else you want to add.
Well, we met at work So we've always worked
We waited
together.
tables at Red Lobster
Yeah.
in North Little Rock. So
For
that's
like
how we
6
literally
years,
met,
yeah.
You know, so
We've
we'd worked
always-
together before we ever knew each other.
And like we were together for like a year before anyone even knew we were together for like a year before half the people even knew we were dating. Like we just know how to keep it professional and
Right.
work together, and I don't know. It just
When
works.
we did insurance, like when I had my
Oh,
insurance
yeah.
agency, she also did that. So we worked in two
That's kind
different
of all we know.
before we got to this. Yeah, I mean,
Which we have our arguments and
yeah.
But there's like
battles
healthy
and-
arguments.
Yes.
It's not
Yeah.
like, oh, I hate you argument.
you just got to
Certainly.
communicate with each other and be honest and kind of like set like we're going to talk about the business right now, and then later on we'll go and have fun.
And we're still working through that.
Yeah.
Like as far as like, cause like I deal with like, I guess I deal with like clients individually, and then she deals with them individually, and then some things we rely on each other for. So like sometimes I'll get frustrated. I'm like, this person's texting me and you aren't finished with these photos yet, and they're like, I need them now. And it's like I'm taking it out on her, what the client's taking out on me. So we're still working on like how it'll be like midnight or something. I'm like, you need to finish these. And she's like, I'm going to bed. I'll do it in the morning. I'm like, no, we have to do them tonight, you know. And she doesn't like that, which is totally rightfully so.
Right.
So it's like more to, we've had to work on like, okay, then they're gonna get them tomorrow, or I have to like tell them up front, this is when you're gonna get them, and that's just when they're gonna get them for the sake of staying married, I guess.
I mean, I feel like it's just like kind of a constant work in progress. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? There's always going to be those conversations that suck, but
Right.
like it's just part of it, kind of thing. Okay, so we're gonna do a little reading from Reddit. I found a thread about the coolest thing you've seen at a wedding, unique, good, or bad. So I'll start with y'all, and then I'll read some that I found.
Okay. I was thinking about this, and there was this one wedding, like the whole wedding was honestly unique. It was like a family lodge basically in Northwest Arkansas.
Cool.
That's been used for weddings every now and then. But her parents owned it. And it was kind of like an outdoor reception type thing. It was beautiful. But at the reception, the dad was doing his speech. And like parked in like the corner was like this old vintage truck, and he like held up the keys and gifted them the truck. So they're like super excited about like it's like a classic Chevy truck or something.
Amazing.
So they're checking it out and everything. And he was like, but wait, there's more. And he goes into this story about how after his daughter was born, he decided he was going to save every dollar bill he ever had, like $1 bill.
I'm gonna have goosebumps.
So like
so cool.
over
cry.
like 23 years, he had saved every like dollar bill he was given in change and stuff
Every
like
chain,
that.
anything
Yeah.
that ever been broke, not
Yeah.
just every
Right,
dollar.
Yeah,
right, right,
like
right,
physical
yeah, yeah.
dollar bill he was given. So there was this trunk in the back of the truck full of dollar bills, like thousands. I don't know
It
how
was
much
like
money.
it's like
Yeah.
$17,000. I
Yeah,
think.
and then there were like bags of coins and stuff,
That
and
is
there was
so
just
cool.
yeah,
I
it
have
was
full
really
body chills.
it was really sweet. But that was
That is so neat.
yeah.
Get
There were
out
also
of town.
alpacas at the wedding, so that too.
I'm
But
sold.
It was pretty nice.
it was a really cool wedding.
I'm
Yeah.
sold. Okay, so a couple that I had. This one just made me laugh out loud. So
So you're reading this. Like,
I'm
from
reading.
This, yeah.
This is from Reddit. I went to a wedding that had a huge white inflatable obstacle course for adults and kids. I thought it was genius. Then everyone got hand, foot, mouth disease. So you maybe skip.
Oh my
that.
gosh!
I wonder if the germs came
With
with, because I feel like the hand, foot, and mouth lasts for a long while. So I bet it came with.
Wes got it as an adult one time.
No, no.
His whole palm sloughed off.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, he couldn't go to work for a week. He still yells about it because his nephew gave it to him.
Okay, I have to share one. I totally forgot the Hot Springs one.
Okay,
Yeah,
go.
Do it.
So I was at this wedding. It was like this was very early on. I'm still like friends with these people. I totally forgot about it till like just now. But I was at this wedding. It was a big wedding. They were all really nice, really cool people. They were partying. It was late. It was probably like 11 o'clock at this point, and there was like a fight broke out. Like in this back corner, and it was a really big like venue. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of people. I say a lot. I mean, it was like 200, probably 250 people. It was 200 plus, I would say.
That's
There was
a lot.
a lot of people there. And in the back corner, it was like a barn type of venue, and it was kind of dark. I mean, it was obviously dark. It was late, but like there was a dark corner where there was like no light, nothing was going on, and like I was about to leave. I was like 5 minutes from leaving. And so I was kind of like, at this point, everybody was just drunk, and I wasn't really shooting much anyways. So I was just kind of in the corner, like up against the, just blending in, like hiding. Well, the fight breaks out in this corner, and nobody knew. Like, these two guys were just gonna like kill each other over in this corner.
Yeah.
There was no. So like I like had.
Walked over there and stepped over there. Like, I started yelling. I was trying to get like everybody else's attention. Well, it continued. Like, I was like stepped between them. They kind of stepped away. They were mad at each other. Turns out it's the groom's father is one of them. But and then they come back together and like a crowd starts forming. And I was still just kind of standing there. I'd kind of like wasn't a part of it anymore. Well, then this huge waylay happens. I was wearing my backpack. Like, I was literally about to leave, so I had my tripod in my backpack. Well, another guy comes over there, the bride's father at this point, and gets mad and gets a part of this, and it turns into kind of like a brawl, but it wasn't really a brawl. It was just like two people, and everyone else was trying to step in, but everybody just kind of got tangled.
Yeah.
Well, one of the guys is falling down who's in the main deal and reaches out and catches my camera strap. It was around my neck. I like fall down into him, and I was holding like both sides of it because he was like held on for dear life. He was mad. And then in the midst of that happening to me, when I fall, there's a woman standing behind me in the tripod. Apparently it broke her nose.
I had
was
like the
in his
ball
bag.
head was in my
Yeah.
bag and it fell and it like breaks this lady's nose and like spews blood. I've seen her like at 2 other weddings like through like
She's family.
She's probably like, stay away from him. He's gonna break my nose again.
Yeah, and I was just so worried about my camera because like he had both sides of the
Yeah, he's
strap,
just
so it wasn't
tangled in
pulled to the
people.
camera.
I wasn't there.
I like screamed. I was like as loud as I could. I was like, stop, and everybody stopped. I was like, let go of my camera, and the guy was like, I don't give a fuck about your camera. He was just drunk. I was just like, just let go. I'll let go. Like,
Let me
I just
go.
went straight to the car and left.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
no, I completely forgot about that. It was a long time
That
ago.
is a pretty big story.
Oh, it was a disaster. Yeah, she was
The bride was crying. It turned into a huge.
But honestly, like, those tripods are weapons.
Oh yeah.
They
Like,
are.
They are, because will put it on our bag too, and I feel like I've almost broken a window because I've like
Yeah.
turned and it's like whacked, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like they're deadly. So yeah, I can see how it broke her nose.
And she was like mad because she didn't have context to know who I was or anything. So she
Right.
Thought she had just got hit with like a chair.
yeah, like she had no idea what was going on.
I saw it at a later wedding. She has a scar on her nose.
Poor thing.
Bless. What a time.
That's the only time that's happened though. It took 4 years.
That's a pretty good
So
story.
what about
Though.
you? Do you have anything?
Nothing
Good
to
or-
compete with that.
But like anything good, not even bad. Unique.
I forget like every wedding.
Oh, I know, same. I'm like racking my brain.
I know. I'm like,
I should have wrote this down.
I didn't. You're really putting me on the spot. You should have told me this.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to think.
I know. Nothing that can top Daniel's. That's for sure.
Oh, recently, which it's not really that unique because I'm seeing it kind of on TikTok now, but I had somebody that displayed like the mother's wedding dresses at their reception. I thought that was so cool.
That is cool.
I've only had that at one other wedding, and it was like both moms and the grandmas.
That's
So I thought
awesome.
they had it like in the things you get from Hobby Lobby or something. But I thought that was cool too.
Okay, so I read this one. I thought this was cool. Instead of one large wedding cake, they had individual cakes for each table. They doubled as centerpieces. It was a huge cost saving for us. So they had the DJ make an announcement encouraging people to travel to different tables, meet new people, and try the different flavors of wedding cake. Ended up being a great mingling icebreaker. I love that.
I was thinking in my head, I was like, how is that more cost efficient? But probably than flowers.
Yeah, probably them
Yeah.
flowers.
So honestly, that's a pretty good idea.
That is a good way.
Absolutely.
Like
Right?
yeah, for people
Let's,
to
like-
mingle and meet.
If you want that
Yes.
kind of cake, that
Yeah.
strawberry cake, you have
Yeah.
to go to that table.
Exactly. And then the last one was I went to a wedding where each family invited brought a flower that made up the bride's bouquet. It was incredibly cool because most people had a story about the flower that they had chosen and made it completely personal.
Aw.
That's so sweet.
I just wish that my brain worked like that. I don't think
know.
of good things like that. So,
My cousin's wedding, she had the bride had like 6 nieces and they all stood on the aisle and she like took like a small bouquet and made hers at the end and like I think her mom tied it together. It was really sweet.
Stop.
That is so
See,
sweet.
I love that.
Well, see, you just Facebook. I don't even know this person in real life, but somehow we're Facebook friends. Or no, I think I know one of the girls. That's how I saw it. She made her aisle runner. Like she took book pages
Oh,
and like made this huge run. It was a huge runner
Yeah.
and like Mod Podged it to where you could walk on it. And I thought that was so
That's
like
really cool.
That is
when I saw
really
the first
cool.
picture, I didn't gather,
Yeah.
oh, that's book pages.
Yeah.
But I mean, especially for someone who loves books, I was like, that's a really good idea.
Yeah,
That's so
that's
cool.
cute. I'm not crafty like that.
No, not like that. No.
No, not either. I'm not either. Okay, well, I think that's kind of it.
Yeah. Do you want to just do like what they're before a wedding,
Oh,
after
yeah.
wedding?
This is my favorite question to ask. So, do you have like a pre-wedding like snack or meal, or like post-wedding snack or meal? Like, I always have Red Bull and sour candy in my fanny pack.
Oh yeah. Well, right now I'm on a Cane's kick. We go to Cane's probably,
Same.
especially like if we go to like Little Rock or something. I want Cane's, but that's what I would say. In my bag, I'm trying to think. I always have gum. I'm like a gum. I'm changing my piece of gum throughout
day?
the day. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Snack wise.
Crazy, gum, but I don't know, like
Granola bar or something.
Coke or Gatorade. We always we always just try to eat something that, obviously we have nothing to eat here, so like cans or like Chick-fil-A or some sort of. But we always want to stop and eat somewhere else, but we never have time. So I always end up catching like whatever's like the easiest exit from the
Yeah.
freeway is important to me, you know. But
Right.
We don't really do
typically-
post wedding snacks.
I live
Really
and die
just-
on Taco Bell, so
Yeah.
that's why I have to ask. So,
I don't really think that we
have
go
a
anywhere
specific.
I'm just
I'm
ready
sure
to
you
go
get
home.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I think it was Benjamin Martin posted that he always gets a McDonald's French fry.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You
it's
can't
always
go
my
wrong.
favorite question. Total
Yeah.
foodie, so I
Yeah.
gotta know.
No.
We always want to eat afterwards and like think about it, and we're always excited about the wedding food sometimes when we eat there.
Yes.
But then by the time it comes around, it's always so rushed or like we're so tired or something. We don't drink. Well, I don't know what it is. I just always like feel bad.
Yeah.
At that point of the wedding day, I can't like eat.
Right.
I
Well,
don't
there's
know.
just so much going on.
Yeah.
So what is if you hear on the wedding day they're having such and such food and you're stoked? What is it?
Taco truck.
Okay. Okay.
I like it's not Tacos for Life. What's the Chewy? I think Chewy's. Chewy's is my favorite catering.
They really are pretty
Have you
good.
ever had Chewy's?
Consistent.
Yo,
No,
Just
I
always
haven't.
like
Really good.
warm or Tacos for Life. Like they have good catering too. I feel like I don't know, some of the catering is just not very good. It's just ends up dry or something.
Well, the
you
fancier
know?
ones are always cold by the time,
Yeah.
like
We
the
get
more
to
like,
eat.
yeah. So,
Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
For real.
Tell them where they can find you guys.
okay. You can find us on Instagram at Dring_Creative, Facebook, Dring Creative, website, dringcreative.com.
So that's for weddings, and then for real estate. Or do you have a separate one? Or?
Yeah, no, we do, but it's Dring Creative Real Estate or personal page, Daniel Dring is my YouTube and Instagram.
Perfect.
And do you keep your senior separate, or do you have a separate account, or
No,
is it the same thing?
I keep it all in the same
Same?
thing. Yeah.
We're trying to work on that too.
Yeah.
We're trying to, because we do like some advertising.
I don't want
type
too
of
many
stuff,
pages
To
you
keep
know?
up with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't blame you. And then I feel like people get confused too, like where they should go. So
Yeah.
I don't blame
Yeah.
you.
We've been talking about that. Something we're working on too. A lot of things.
Stay
uncovered
tuned.
here.
Well, thank y'all so much.
Yeah.
Thank
this
you.
has been so fun.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
See you next
See
time.
you later.
Bye.
Bye.
As we finish this episode, we want to say a big thank you to all of the support on our podcast. You can find us at Black Tie Opt Podcast. We are on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Thank you so much for supporting our podcast.